I am the director of the Center for Innovation and Leadership and assistant dean for integrated learning and leadership. And I am unbelievably proud and honored to be celebrating the 10th anniversary of SwatTank, which is exciting. And even better to have the 10th anniversary of SwatTank in person. So that means 10 years of innovation and creativity, business plans, financials, market research, late nights with your team, trying to finish your report, hundreds, potentially thousands of practices of your pitch over the last decade. And we're really excited to be here today. For those of you who haven't seen a SwatTank before, this is an ideation competition. So our 3 student teams have found a problem or a pain in the world and they are solving for it. They research and interrogate assumptions about their customers, competitors, markets. They figure out what resources they need and they figure out what kind of money they also need. The skills being honed in this process include public speaking, design, relationship building, and learning how to market an idea that you actually believe in and care about. And we are really excited to bring in a number of judges who I'm going to introduce in a second, but I want you to know what's about to happen. So these 3 teams have written a report about their idea. This is not a pitch to investors. They do not have a demo or an MVP. They're tested on how well they've researched the idea to this point, and if we were to give them money tomorrow or today, which we will, they would know where to go next. So they have a report that they've been already judged on. They give a pitch that they're judged on, and then they have a Q&A session that they're judged on. We're going to have the judges ask questions, and then we're going to open it up to the audience to ask questions. So as you hear pitches, please think of questions you'd like to ask. We're going to have Jen in the audience with a microphone to come and find you. And then there's money on the table. So first place is $5,000. Second place is $2,000. Third place is $500. And then you as the audience are going to help us dole out another $500 in the audience choice, which we will do after all 3 pitches and Q&A sessions. So $8,000 on the line today. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to introduce our judges because they're very fancy, as you might imagine. Some of you may see familiar faces. Some of our participants may also see familiar faces in the judges. So Dr. Cyan Bano, yeah? That was great. Is an associate professor of economics here at Swarthmore College and holds a BA from Princeton and an MPP and PhD from Harvard. His research focuses on applying behavioral economics to policy-relevant issues, ranging from environmental conservation to health behavior to personal finance. Frequently a commentator on behavioral economics in the New York Times, NPR, the Philadelphia Inquirer, and regularly works with students, maybe you, and advises startups at firms, both as part of his applied research projects, but also through his organizer role in Startup-onomics, which is hosted by Google, which is very cool. Next, we have Young-Moon Kim, who is the class of 1993 from Swarthmore College. Give it up. So Young-Moon is the director of the Excite Center and professor of electrical and computer engineering at Drexel. The Excite Center is an institute for transdisciplinary collaboration at the intersection of technology and creative expression. And his research group, the Music Entertainment Technology Lab, pursues AI for music and human-machine interfaces and robotics for expressive interaction. He also serves as a resident technologist for Opera Philadelphia, which I think is awesome, and an advisor for the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and is also a performer himself and sings with his a cappella group, the Tonics. And he has lived the liberal arts life. Here at Swarthmore, he majored in music and engineering. He has 2 masters from Stanford, 1 in electrical engineering and 1 in vocal performance, and a PhD in media arts and sciences from MIT. He has all of the degrees. And last but certainly not least, Kyle. We have Kyle Pierce, who is a class of 2014. So Kyle was a participant in the first year of SwatTank and has come back to be a judge in year 10, which I think is a beautiful full circle moment. But he also has been doing a lot since the last time he was here pitching his presentation. He's currently the COO and co-founder of Options MD, which is a health tech solution that provides personalized care to people struggling with severe and treatment-resistant mental illness, which affects 23 million Americans. The company uses proprietary treatment machine software, specialist clinicians, and an online community to help patients find relief. They have a wait list right now of 6,000 patients, and that is rising. They are doing really important work in the world. Before launching Options MD, Kyle was an attorney working with LA's largest insurers and hospital systems. He left his corporate career after watching close friends commit suicide, which is the second leading cause of death among young adults, and was recently honored as one of the Gainjill's 100 top LGBTQIA+ entrepreneurs. Congratulations. Kyle was had a BA here in Econ and has a JD from UCLA. Welcome, Kyle. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to our MC of the night, who's going to be doing the run of show. Her name is Denise Crossan, who you may have taken a class with in the past. Dr. Denise Crossan is the Director of Community and Strategic Initiatives here at the college. She works in the President's Office, collaborating with colleagues across campus to develop and oversee strategic initiatives and to strengthen the community and support the college's mission in general. You may have seen her previously on campus as the assistant professor in She was previously the Eugene Lang visiting professor for issues of social change at the Lang Center for Civic and Social Responsibility. Y'all, okay. She also had a connection and collaboration with Peace and Conflict Studies. And before she was here at Swarthmore, she was an assistant professor in social entrepreneurship at Trinity College, which is Dublin's business school. And she is up next. So I'm going to turn it over to Denise, and then we will begin.
Thank you very much, Katie. Thank you very much. Welcome, honored judges. Thank you so much for your time. It is just awesome to see you all here. I am so excited. I'm actually a little emotional. We all got a little emotional earlier on because we've been looking at screens and we thought someday SwatTank will return, and here you all are. It's amazing. Now, I've heard a bit of noise that you can make, but I actually think you can do a little better, right? I think you can do a little better. And these folks down here, they really need you to hype, hype, hype. So you all stand up, turn around, and make them do a little louder. I'm going to be introducing the teams, and Carl's going to keep me on time. So I'm just going to remind you of a couple of things that Kitty talked about, right? So each team will make a presentation. It'll be followed by questions and answers. The judges will answer questions first, and then we'll open it up to the audience. Really, if you could try and keep your questions really succinct. We love your commentary. Questions are really welcome. So that's going to be great. There are microphones that Jen's going to hand around, so we'll be able to do that. If you do have to leave the room for whatever reason, if you need to use the restrooms or you just want to step out, if you could do it at a break time, that would be really ideal. But listen, we understand. What else do I have to say? And you are incredibly welcome. So I'm going to start with our first team. I'm going to welcome our very first team. Are we excited? Yes! Okay, our first team to present this evening is called techTutor. The members of our team are Cheng, class of 24, Jacob Park, class of 24, Christina Wang, class of 22, and Tommy Vu, class of 24. So when you're ready, give a huge applause and welcome to techTutor.
Yep.
It's another frustrating night. I'm up again at Zoom on midnight, showing my parents how to fill out the FAFSA so I can get my financial aid at Swarthmore. The process is a sight to behold. I see my mom squinting at her laptop, trying to follow along as I explain to her in Mandarin how to upload the correct forms. Meanwhile, I'm starting to feel annoyed as I think about all the homework I still need to do. The process isn't easy, but eventually we figure it out. But usually one person ends the night upset. And this isn't a one-time thing. My parents are immigrants, and navigating technology that isn't in their native tongue poses an immense daily challenge. This issue isn't isolated to just my family. 16% of adults in the US struggle to even pay their bills online or return an item that they've purchased on the web. That's over 51 million Americans, many of whom who are socioeconomically disadvantaged and where English is their second language. Not having basic digital skills can also cause much greater problems down the line. Studies show that people who lack basic digital skills struggle to find employment and tend to work in lower skilled jobs.
Now, what if there's a way for these people with low level digital literacy to get help and digital assistance without the frustration and headaches in their native tongues? This is when the idea of techTutor was born. techTutor is a web application that will match its users with experienced tech tutors who will help them and provide digital assistance and training in digital skills in their native tongues.
So how does techTutor work? Imagine it's 1 a.m. the night before your midterm, and your parents are asking how Google's CAPTCHA system works because they're trying to access an important email.
You don't have time to help them, and this isn't the first time you've had this issue. But luckily, you saw a Facebook ad for techTutor and decided to purchase it to resolve their issue.
You text your parents the link to techTutor's website and the account activation code you've just purchased.
Their parents enter the activation code, and they'll see a phone number that they can call so that they can be set up with the vetted recruiter in just a few minutes.
After the account is created, our customer service agent will instruct your parent to start a video call. First, by filling in a form on our website detailing the nature of their problem, their preferred language, and their contact information.
Then your parents will be sent a video link that they can enter, where they'll be paired with a vetted tech tutor and be set up and get the help that they need in just a few steps.
At the end of the call, your parents can fill in a quick survey about their experience and if they want to continue sessions with this specific tech tutor.
And now your parents have access to their Gmail again. And now you saved an hour of study time. So you're happy, your parents are happy, and you can go ace that midterm. All thanks to techTutor.
So now, you may be wondering, who will these techTutor be? So you have to be worried because you leave your parents in trusted hands. We'll hire tech tutors from various student groups and organizations from various reputable universities across the country, such as the amazing Swarthmore, Drexel, UCLA, or Princeton. These tech tutors will go through an intensive interviewing and training process to ensure they can provide quality digital assistance and digital skill trainings.
We will utilize an a la carte model for users to purchase our product. Users can purchase packages of 3, 6, or 10 hours of support.
Now, similar to tech tutors, there are competitors who also offer tutors who can provide digital assistance, and they offer pre-recorded modules and training in digital skills.
But as you can see in this matrix, techTutor blows the competition out of the water in the 4 most critical categories of cost, immediate support, multilingual support beyond the basic English, Spanish, and Mandarin, and a low-tech onboarding process conducive to someone with less digital experience. techTutor's cost to the customer is 70% less than the nearest competitor. techTutor offers on-demand support where users can go on our website and be put on a video call right away. We'll start off by offering our services in Korean, Vietnamese, and Mandarin in addition to English, but we plan to add more languages as the platform grows. And finally, since users can go on techTutor's website and we put on a session right away with a tech tutor through a phone call conversation with a customer service representative, it's a friendly experience for someone with less digital experience.
And now let's take a look at the financials of techTutor over the next 4 years. In year 1, we intend to operate at a loss. This is because of our high fixed cost of operation. By year 2, we'll generate a net break-even point. And by years 3 and 4, we'll experience exponential growth because of our economies of scale and our no fixed costs. And this is because of our next steps moving forward. We'll implement more languages like Christina mentioned, offer group sessions where we'll pair multiple tutees to a single tutor so that we'll cut costs for techTutor. And we'll also scale the student matching process with AI and algorithms. And lastly, we'll streamline the tutor hiring process with our vetted recruiters.
So who are we and why are we poised to make techTutor a reality? I'm Sean.
I'm Christina.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Jacob.
And we're all either the children of immigrants or immigrants ourselves. We built this product based on our own experiences and what we saw as an urgent need in the market. Join us in helping digitally disadvantaged individuals leverage technology to increase their upward social mobility. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now the process is to open it up to our honored judges to ask a few questions. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Sure.
You guys hear me okay? Okay, so first question. Whenever I see the cost is 80% lower or whatever than the competitor, explain to me how you can make it work for 80% lower or 70% lower than your competition.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So in the first year of operation, we intend to operate at a loss. So our cost for the consumer will be $7 an hour for our service, but we'll be paying our tutors a rate of $15 an hour. And this is because we want to gain a sizable customer base within the first year. So we're going to expect to have about 2,500 users within the first year. After the first year, we're going to hike up the prices, and we can do this because our product is not just meant to last 1 year. It's meant to last 3-4 years because our users will develop a dependency on our product, making them inelastic to the price changes. So our initial price is $7, but if you look at the actual matrix in the appendix, so these are our cost breakdowns, and this is just for year 1, but if you go to the next slide, this is a breakdown of how we'll expand. So by years 2, we'll actually keep the same cost, but we'll hike up the prices to about 3 to 4 times the initial cost. But what's important to mention is that our cost will never exceed the cost of our competitors. And this is because our nearest competitor offers an hourly rate of about $25 per hour, which is really high compared to what we will offer, which is about $17 to $18. And what's important is that even though we do match the price of our competitors, we still dominate in all of these 4 areas of support. So even if we do match the price, the next competitor won't have the immediate support.
Okay.
And so,
Good job. Okay, let's open up another question from the judges.
So I see the matrix. I see how you guys are different. Do all of the other competitors approach the same target audience? How does it kind of break down in terms of who you're going after versus who they're chasing after as consumers?
So for us, in our initial stage, we recognize the difficulty that may get to like older customers who are, so we divide our target into 2 different segments. We have the primary user and primary customers. Our primary user will be the people who are older ages and they need digital help, and that the primary customer at this point will be the people who are actually the point of contact for those primary users, the regular contact. And the primary users may be a little skeptical about our product, or it's something new and they're not comfortable with trying it. That's why we target their children, their relatives who are younger and more open to a new experience. And also, they're hoping to have a reliable service that can replace them as a point of contact for digital assistants. And that will be our initial approach. Of course, we still open our product to everybody to purchase, but that's our initial approach. For our competitors, most of them are just like a website where you go on and then you register yourself, so they don't have that different approach like us where we split to customer and user.
Can I ask a really quick follow-up on that point? So I noticed that even in your pitch, the customer is somewhat framed as the family member or the younger person who's annoyed at having to deal with the older person. Is that true for your competitors as well, or do they go straight to the true customer? So I'm curious who your customer is, or you see your customer as, versus your competitors. Is it the same?
To be honest, I'm not sure how would our competitor work, but I know for some example, let's say our next lower cost would be the learning center. The learning center is usually you have to go there yourself and learn, so they would naturally target the actual user rather than us. It's a little easier for us because we can get the customer, which is the young people, to purchase it. But for other platform, it may not be the same case where the user have to go on and look at the process themselves and buy and purchase themselves. And also, our bonus is an onboarding process. we build an onboarding process to fit the part where you don't have to buy the service, but you can still access it with the customer service and things like that.
So I definitely fall in that primary customer category because I do provide tech support to my parents as well. I guess in order to do that, I mean, when it's a family member who has the patience and the love and the care and all that, I think we've all been there and we know that it can take a great deal of effort. For when you're hiring people to do customer service like that and technical support, what kind of training will you provide and how are you accounting for that cost of training so that you can provide one, excellent customer support, and then two, scale that up to a larger user base?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Initially, at the beginning stages of the product, definitely like we are going to be the ones conducting the interviews with each of the prospective tech tutors. So one, we want to recruit from various universities. So I think college students definitely are in the demographic where they have all the basic skills necessary to tutor. And then we'll give them a case where they have to walk through a potential like tech support situation, like setting up your Gmail or setting up Zoom with one of us. And they have to demonstrate that they're bilingual and can like teach in that specified language. So one of our value adds is being able to teach in a different language. So through that process, we'll be able to interview. But as we scale, we're going to want to hire full-time people who are both bilingual and are able to interview people and onboard them onto our platform. So that's our vision.
Okay, awesome, well done. Okay, we're going to open it up to the audience. We've probably got time to take maybe one or two questions, real quick questions. Who would like to ask a question? And we can give you a microphone. Just put your hand up high so we can. Yeah, Jen.
I'm curious how you guys are actually going to implement this. I see right there you guys mentioned back end, front end, technical. Can you guys explain a little bit more about how you guys are going to actually make this product?
So how are you going to make the product? It's a bit technical. How are you going to implement it for everyone?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So as you can see here, this is our go-to-market strategy, and we need to hit these 5 key activities in order to successfully implement our product. So the 5 key activities are first to develop the web app, hire bilingual tutors that, Sean kind of mentioned this process a little bit in the last question. We have to refine the tutor-to-team matching process. We also have to develop pre-recorded modules of the most commonly asked questions, and then we have to market to our target audience. So the one I really want to highlight here is the developing the web application. Obviously, there's no web application, there's no product, but so all of us are computer science majors. However, we're still at Swarthmore, so we don't have a ton of industry experience. So we are looking to hire a back-end developer, a front-end developer, as well as a technical mentor they all have industry experience to help guide us through this process. And it's also really important to note that in our beginning stages, we're not going to build out our own video conferencing software. We'll be using something such as Zoom or Google Meets, but we will build out an interface where we can match the users with the tech tutors, and an interface where we can process payments and have our services listed on the website.
Excellent, well done. Any other questions? Put your hand up. Robert, do you want to grab a microphone? Just before you speak, just wait for Jen to get to you so we can all hear nice and clear.
So I'm guessing your competitors have the same B2C approach. And my question is, how would you go about acquiring all these tutors if let's say I want to go into tutoring and I know that your competitors have this wide range of consumer database? What would incentivize me to join that company knowing that I would have more chance of getting more consumers with the other competitors, if that makes sense?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So,
Yep.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
So the way that we'll get our tech tutors hired is through our hourly rate. So our hourly rate far exceeds that which is offered at other college campuses. So initially we'll hire college students who are bilingual, who have experience with using tech. And so right now Swarthmore has an hourly rate of about $11.88, right? So if we hire our tutors at a rate of $15 an hour, we're for sure going to get at least X amount of tutors within the first year. But by year 2, we're hoping to switch that out and have a more streamlined hiring process where we'll actually hire recruiters for our tutors.
Thank you, Jacob. I think we have one more question. We might have one time over in the corner over there. Yeah, thank you. Jen's going to come to you with Mike. Perfect.
So you say that techTutor is advantageous for those who are economically disadvantaged. So how are you determining your package prices to be affordable for these groups?
Yeah, if we go back to the competitor matrix,
Do you want me to? Yeah, you better do that. You better do that. Yeah.
yeah, like we mentioned previously, our service will be about 70% more cost effective than the next alternative in the first year. By year 2, we're still going to be a cheaper option. And so even though it does seem like a high price right now, $17, $18 per hour, if you compare it with their competitors, you're not going to get that same deal anywhere else, especially with the on-demand support and the multilingual aspect, where we'll offer in Mandarin, Vietnamese, and Korean within the first year.
All right. Well done, everybody. Congratulations. All right. Okay. All right, everybody. So that was fantastic. It gives me great pleasure now to introduce our second team. And I want to introduce Frequency. And Frequency is Dorothy Corrigan, class of 23, and Leonard Park, class of 23. So when you're ready, come on ahead.
Sorry about that.
No, come on ahead.
Okay, so you guys might be wondering, why on earth are we playing Old Town Road in 2022?
Why not?
Question 2.
So a couple weeks ago, Dorothy and I took a trip down memory lane, and we revisited a bunch of the songs that we listened to back in high school. And it turned out that we weren't the only ones listening to something that day.
A week after this music listening session, this is what Spotify recommends to Leonard.
Yeah, Spotify missed the mark on this one. Pretty badly, but are we really that surprised?
Hi guys, my name is Dorothy.
My name's Leonard.
And we're
Team Frequency.
So major music streaming services like Spotify offers tools like their algorithm-produced playlists to help us explore all the music that's out there. But they can miss the mark, obviously. This is because they don't have the personal human connections that know that Leonard wouldn't want to be recommended Despacito in 2022.
And it can be especially hard to share and find new music with all the music that's out there.
Our app, Frequency, offers 3 main features to help you do this.
Frequencies, channels, and melodies.
These features help you explore new music from people you trust and share music with people you care about, all on your own time.
Let's look at a frequency. A frequency can be thought of as a bite-sized playlist that consists of 1 to 5 songs that you can share with your friends. This way, you'll be able to... Oh, wait, sorry. Dorothy, go ahead.
This way you can share how you're feeling or the songs that you just can't get enough of lately with people who you care about, and it all rests in a collective feed. You can increase further engagement through clicking the note icon next to each song that saves the song for later listening to on your own time.
Not only will you get recommendations from friends that you can trust, this feature offers a new interactive way to build community, a way to keep up with old friends or make new ones, all through music.
Our second feature, channels, are places where you can join a community of people you know or people you want to get to know better. For example, let's say you're an incoming freshman and you get placed into the Willits dorm. Yay! So you can join the Willits channel and be able to have access and submit songs to playlists within it.
Rather than thinking of a channel simply as a group playlist where you're limited to only adding songs, with a channel you'll be able to upvote and downvote a song, giving you the ability to see the songs that are at the top of the playlist.
This helps you determine what songs are popular in your community, which helps you parse through longer playlists. All right, for our third feature, melodies.
So a melody is similar to Snapchat's streak feature, but instead of sending a photo back and forth every day to create a streak, with a melody you'll be able to send a new song back and forth with each other to create a melody. After hitting the 7-day mark, you'll be able to have a melody playlist, which is a collection of all the songs that you and your friends have shared.
This provides not only another streamlined collection of your friends' recommended songs, but also a way for people who might not be as comfortable sharing music with lots of people to still engage with our app and create memories and connections through music.
So Frequency offers both a music streaming service and a social media platform. So how do we make this a reality now?
Our first users will be the strong community of smaller musicians and producers. They are not only music creators, but also music lovers who want to share music and be surrounded by it every day. They can be found on Reddit forums, YouTube channels, Instagram, and other social media sites, which are all the places we will use to contact them, to ask them to provide songs of their own for us to use on our app. This provides songs at a lower cost than us having to buy music licensing rights to more mainstream songs, as well as gives us a dedicated user base who can test our app's viability.
Within 3 months after launching our app, our projections show that if we're able to gain and retain 3,000 users, where these users come back and use our app 20 out of 30 days of the month, we'll be able to cover operational costs through our subscription and advertisement-based business model. This way, we'll be able to reach investors that will give us the resources to scale up, get the rights to songs that are more mainstream, and attract people like you guys, people who are active on social media and love music.
We want to bring in the human connection to the music listening and sharing experience.
We want to help people get on the same frequency. Sorry. Not on the same frequency.
Thank you.
Yeah. So sorry about that.
Good job. Excellent. All right, just as we did before, judges, would you like to open the floor for the questions, please?
Yeah. Great presentation. And absolutely, there's a need for sort of social music sharing our platform to do that. There's also several dozen companies that have tried to do that.
Yes.
And I'd love to hear some of your thoughts about those and why maybe those didn't work and why your proposal is different. And then second, you kind of glossed over the licensing piece. I mean, you said you would start with small, independent artists. But I think, everyone wants a platform where they can access everything.
Yes.
Right? And again, I don't think it's a big secret. Spotify, Apple, Tidal, none of them make money.
Yep.
Yes.
Right? So how are you going to actually make money, when you still have to pay for some content?
Yeah, so just to address your last question first, what makes Frequency unique, it puts us in a unique situation where we're both able to tap into the social media market and a freemium-based model. So that way we can make money off both visual and audio ads. And also to address your first question about, was it the music licensing question? Or?
Like competitors?
Like competitors who have tried to do similar platforms.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that sets us apart from the competition is the features that we're offering. So with these other social media sites that revolve around music sharing and music interaction, they miss the mark when it comes to how people listen to music. And so, for example, was it Listened, right?
Yeah, have you heard of Listened?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this would be something similar to us where they're offering users a way to rate songs, but this is not only text-based, so that's more active engagement on the user's part to have to think through what to say, but it's also only on the website, so ours would be an app, and we can listen to music on our own time. And I think, just going back to this slide, the thing that sets us apart is that we're not only, we're both a social media platform and a music streaming service. So the music streaming services don't make a lot of money, and that's because they cap out at a certain number of users, but social media sites, which are places where people spread the word and connect with friends, you keep getting more friends, you keep getting more people. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you.
I'd be curious for you guys to break down the psychology of switching from these platforms, which I think have a lot of user buy-in, very, very deep user buy-in, and why I would be kind of coaxed to move to your platform beyond the social media component, but to break away from these actual other apps.
Yeah. So I think that the best way that we've thought about it is that we're bringing power to the people. So most of the Spotify, big music streaming service algorithms, give you, these are the top songs, but who's deciding that, right? we are saying your friends, your trusted people are telling you these songs are the ones I like. These are the best songs. And so I think that's what we're offering over them, and that's what would attract more people.
In addition to what Dorothy originally said about giving power to the people, a lot of times the algorithm glosses over a lot of underground artists. And so under this kind of format, we'll be able to represent those artists more so and not have the algorithm kind of dictate whether your song or whether producer songs get showcased or not.
Can I ask, it almost feels like you've got two potential models that you're trying to like figure out where you fit in. So I'm curious where you, as you currently stand, you see yourself. So one is like recommendation engine, building great software that does a better job recommend, because I totally agree with you. What's out there is pretty much garbage, the stuff you get recommended, and finding new music is weirdly hard, right? So you could say we have a better way, and you could potentially just work directly with partners, recording artists, labels, etc. And then the other track is like the social media track. And that has a different challenge, which is, these platforms are better when everyone's on them, right? If Instagram had none of your friends on it, Instagram sucks, right?
Yeah.
So how do you if you go that route, how do you scale up the user base fast enough so that I can go on there and all my friends are already there? That's the biggest challenge, I think, in that track. So I'm curious what you guys think.
Yeah, so usually in the market research that we've done, typically people have around 4 to 5 friends in a friend group, and it only takes one person to really be the one that gets people on board onto a site like this. So for example, I have a group of friends back at home, and we all send music to each other all the time. And so me being the one that is a music sharer or the tastemaker, I'll drag them onto this app, and then we'll end up using the features that we're offering.
Yeah, high school and college students love sharing their identities online and connecting with friends, and I think this is just another way of doing that.
So maybe a quick follow-up. I mean, you've also got sort of a component of being an independent record label as part of this, right? I'm just curious if you've done much research in independent record labels and how they operate, and how they might differ from traditional record labels. There are lots of problems with the traditional model, but what's going to be your innovation, especially in appealing to independent artists? Hey, why should I sign with you and your platform as opposed to whoever, Warner Brothers or whoever?
Mm-hmm. I think you want to touch on it. Yeah.
So kind of wait, I think you should take it.
Okay, jump in if you
Yeah.
This is a great question, because something that we were talking about is how SoundCloud, they only offer, fractions of a penny per stream to these smaller artists, but smaller artists still upload songs to them, right? And this is because more than making money in the beginning, smaller artists want to get their songs out there. They want people to be able to hear their music. And so because we're not based on algorithms, we're based on the way people share music by person to person, I think this gives them more opportunity to have their songs be spread faster. So.
I'd be curious to know what about your product do you think is not something that Spotify can just build now? I know in your other materials you mentioned that they were trying. So what is it about you guys that can't just be an idea they're going to steal, but actually defensible with a moat?
Yeah, so Spotify has been coming out with features that have tried to address the social media or the sharing aspect of music sharing, but they constantly miss the mark. And reflected in the business report, their features like group session or even the group playlist and sharing playlists, they totally missed the mark in that what they understand with the algorithms and the curated playlists that they create is cutting the time in order to have to spend time exploring music. And so with our app, we kind of offer features that get at that more efficiently than they do.
Yeah. But one exit strategy we do have is maybe partnering with Spotify.
Sure, yeah.
So.
Great job. Good. So power to the people. We're going to hand it over to the audience.
Thank you.
Good job. All right. Over to the audience. Anybody have a question for frequency? Put your hand up. There we go.
I hope that means you guys like it.
There we go. Thank you.
Do you have any lesser known producers or musicians that you already want to work with for the app, or who would you want to get in in collaboration with at the start?
Yeah, so actually I have like, back at home, I have a bunch of friends who are trying to pursue a music producing career. And so part of like the conception of this app came from like being friends with those people. And so like, not only would they be the first users of this app, they'd be the ones for like offering or giving up the music onto this app.
We also have friends at Bryn Mawr College who have their own startup app that connects live venues with musicians. And so they've been in contact with local artists who they wouldn't mind also pointing our way. Yeah. But if you have a band, we would love to talk to you.
Excellent. We have another question over here. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I think you guys have a great idea, and I love the market research you guys have done. But what I have a little bit of trouble understanding is one of the judges pointed it out is are you guys more music or more social media? Because I can't really identify a problem that you guys solve for me right now. And even if there is a problem with like identifying music to suit my tastes, it's not really a need. So how are you guys gonna like push this forward and get users to hop on?
Yeah, so one of the things that we wrote about in our business report is the psychology behind music sharing. So like think about the last time you got sent a playlist. Like when that happened to me, I had like an all or nothing response where I either felt like I had to listen to all the songs or none of it at all. And then it created just an awkward experience for me where I wasn't even able to contact my friend because I felt like I had to do them justice by listening to the playlist that they made for me. So to kind of offset this kind of stress, we're creating an app that will get at the psychological problems that come with that.
Yeah, and maybe you're someone who joins because your friends are on it. You don't need to necessarily be there because you don't feel like you need to, find new music, but you want to connect with your friends, and music is a great way of doing that.
Am I allowed to ask a follow-up?
Sure. Sure.
I'm saying, as if I were to be the friend that would get on it first.
Okay.
You can't just say that I'm going to join my friends, right? Because
Yeah.
my friends could be joining me too. And
Very true.
I appreciate your answer, but I still don't get how you get that first group of people to really need your product.
You don't have any issues with spending time finding new songs?
Okay, I think what we should do, I did see another hand. I think
you can share the songs you already love with your friends. Or is there an easy way for you to do that now?
I think we had another question, Dorothy, actually. We will go to another one. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. So it seems like there are like two different apps. It's kind of like you are kind of trying to combine, which is like Spotify and SoundCloud. On the social media end, I mean, this may be just me, but I see this with a lot of people. Spotify is extremely connected with Instagram already, and like the actual step of sending someone a song is like not super hard because you can easily just press a button, then send it through text. And then with the smaller artists, SoundCloud already has that handled. I can't exactly see what are y'all doing differently because I still cannot find it.
Okay, yeah, so going back to the 3 features that we offered, this is something that no other app has. With SoundCloud, the only social media aspect that they have is being able to share the song and also comment on the song itself. So what we're offering is a more engagement on our app. So I don't know.
We also are giving people the chance to and how are we different from? Can you repeat your question? Sorry. How are we different from
how are y'all different? That's the main question because I
Spotify
can't find
and
where
SoundCloud?
the difference is.
Okay, so you said that it's easy to just send a song, right?
Yeah.
But that takes you to a third-party app, right? Like you have to copy the link and paste it into something else.
You just press the 3, like on Spotify, you just
Okay, so you press the buttons, but then how are people getting that song? Through Spotify?
You just it literally on Spotify, you press the 3 buttons,
Mhm.
then you have then you press, it comes up, you want your Instagram story, you want a message.
Right, and so that's the third-party app. You're not sharing music through Spotify's platform, right?
There you go. Is that your unique selling point?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And then you may just have to download it and try, right?
Yeah.
That could be the cool thing. Thank you, Frequency. We love you. Okay, everybody. This is SwatTank. This is how it goes. It's good fun. And we appreciate everything. We appreciate your questions. You're doing an awesome job, teams. Well done. But last but not least, we have one more team for you to present. All of these teams have worked really hard in these presentations. I'm so proud of how you're all doing. And it gives me the greatest honor to welcome our last team, which is Forge. Team Forge is Roman Hines, class of 25, and TJ Chapman, class of 23.
Hey TJ, how did it feel when your season was cancelled, going into the NCAA tournament during the Sweet 16?
You know, Roman, it was challenging. We were very close to accomplishing one of our goals, and it was cut short due to COVID-19. After our season was canceled, we were sent home, and our community, which brought us so far, was taken away from us.
Yeah, you know, I remember going into my gap year, like the season being canceled again, and it was just so miserable for me because as a freshman incoming, like there was no team around me, there was no friends to work out with, and it was just so difficult to motivate myself to work out.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, our entire team was spread out all across the country. And due to how much time we spent together on campus, I felt isolated when it came to training.
But post-COVID, we saw this problem still exists today, and it affects more than just us.
There are over 460,000 college athletes in the US. You know what all these athletes have in common? The off-season, a time where they get to hone in on their fitness and strength goals to prepare for their upcoming season.
But the problem with the off-season is that it's an extremely difficult time for us because we don't have access to the motivation that we have during the season. And we wanted to examine this trend over a Centennial Conference student athletes and started by surveying over 100 athletes here at SwatTank. And when asking them how often they would like to train versus how often they actually train during the off-season, we saw that they fall 2 to 3 days short of their goals every single week. And then when asking them why, we found out that a lack of motivation, and more specifically, a lack of community, was the reason. I'm Roman Hines.
I'm TJ Chapman, and this is Forge. We believe Forge will solve this problem. Forge is a fitness app that provides athletes with a community and is data-driven.
After downloading Forge from the App or Play Store, we get to know you through a detailed onboarding process. And we take this information and we build you a user profile. And data is an extremely important part of our app, and this is not the case for most others. Apps like Nike Training Club are abundant online, but they're the same inadequate products just reskinned. Athletes need programs that are catered to them, and so instead of offering 100 different pre-recorded workouts for a general audience, our users get to participate in a Forge.
A Forge is a set of weeks dedicated to a specific fitness goal. To begin a Forge, athletes are given the opportunity to import their own workout or get one of our premium programs coming soon.
And the beauty of a Forge is being able to easily track all your data that you're going to need at the same time. You get to just see the progress that you get to make over time. And so we're going to take all the information and we're going to be able to track you easily and fluidly throughout your time.
But this wouldn't be complete without our community features. We believe what truly separates us from our competitors is allowing our users to join and create groups where they can support each other on their Forges. We also provide our users with a community feed, allowing them to engage and share with other users they follow. What Strava has done for running, we'll do for fitness. And we'll do it better.
And so users can also work to earn stars by supporting their weekly assigned goal partner. And this is important because our app's competition is based around commitment and engagement instead of who can run the fastest mile or who can lift the most weight. And we're going to combine this with all of our features to create an incredibly powerful feedback loop to keep athletes engaged the entire offseason long.
And now for the part everyone's been waiting for. The money. Based on our research, we understood that 75% of Swarthmore athletes needed our app to be free to use. With that in mind, we decided that a land and expand revenue model would be the best way to grow our business. We begin with our pre-launch phase. We develop our app, market to athletes, and fundraise through family and friends. During our launch phase, we use our highly targeted demographic for in-app advertisements. And during our expansion phase, we will roll out our subscription-based product as another form of revenue. We understand. We would have loved to make our app for all of you instead of just athletes in the beginning. But we understood that this was the best way to begin our product.
And here's where that makes sense for us. Although TJ is 2 feet tall, he does specialize in growth and marketing, having worked with startups in the past, and so he's going to operate as our CEO.
And even though Roman can't catch a ball, he will handle all the day-to-day details when it comes to software development and graphic design.
And this structure will allow TJ and I to be able to begin making the app with no cost really, because we are in college, we have limited expenses around. But still, why us?
We are both athletes. We've been athletes our entire lives, and we've experienced this problem every year. We understand our target demographic because we are our target demographic. We understand how important the athletes summertime workouts are, and we understand how easy it is to deviate from one's fitness goals. So we hope you understand how our community platform will revolutionize fitness. Are you ready? Step into the fire.
Thank you.
Good job, Ford. Well done. All right. Judges, over to you.
Yeah, so can I ask, I noticed that you don't pitch it as like partnering with schools. So a natural fit would be, Swarthmore and other schools are rich, okay? And they got lots of money in their athletic departments. Why not pitch directly to athletic directors and say, look, get all your athletes on our app. You get a couple of big schools on board, you get the money from their, athletics programs, students don't have to pay a dime. So is that an alternative model that might work, or is that something you considered and rejected?
So here's the thing. Our product got kind of thrown around a lot, different ideas, and that came up a lot. And the thing is that we wanted to make a product for athletes, for the consumer, for the individual, and expand as such, so like a social media app in such a way. And their apps, like ours, that offer top-down logistic workout providing software for trainers and for coaches and for the department. But we want to build a software that is dedicated for the user and not for the department. And so that's why we're starting in this way.
Also, with that approach, we probably would have had to have a team that would sell a sales team. And we wanted to take away and not have to have that as one of our initial investments. Instead, we wanted to focus on what Romy can bring to the team and what I can bring to the team to kickstart our development.
I actually understand this problem because I was a student athlete and I was definitely slacking in the summertime. But I am curious to know how you guys are thinking about the monetization piece here. So I know you say you want to go straight to the consumer, but I know you're also really concerned about pricing and having people pay for it. So how are you thinking about making money?
Yeah, so pre-launch, we will obviously have to just fundraise through family and friends because it's just me and Roman. We'll be able to develop the app on our own. But when it comes to making money, we believe that our subscription-based product is to also bring in some of the crowd's probably uneasiness was we want this to be an app for everyone, not just athletes. So when it comes to our subscription-based product, we will be able to market that to everyone. And let me step back. Our subscription-based product is providing people with workouts specifically for you. We have an onboarding process to get to know the individual, how much time you get the workout, how much time you want to dedicate to it, how serious you are, what you want to work on. All of these things will allow us to get to know our user and provide a workout fit for them. And we believe that is our way to make money.
At the same time, even before we get to the subscription piece part of that, we also can use in-app advertising. And so when you think about the athletic demographic, those are extremely targeted group that companies like Gatorade and Nike and Adidas, they want a piece of that. They want those athletes' eyes. And so having a platform catered to them in the beginning is able to profitize, allowing us to make profit off of that in the beginning stages as we continue to gather data and as we continue to grow our user base.
Just to follow up, so from my experience, these marketing partnerships are really tough to reach until you kind of hit that patient population. I mean that user population that really is marketable enough. So I would encourage you guys to think about maybe like influencer strategies or ways early on that you can get buy-in from consumers and at least reach those goals faster, because you're gonna be burning a lot of cash without bringing in anything, you know, especially if you were waiting that long to make the money, just as a aside.
Definitely, we totally agree.
So I love how you've identified a really great market here, right? A really great target audience. I gotta second the opinion that you have communities already of teams, of groups of athletes who are bound together by affiliation to a school, right? To an organization. And if you go, it's in Swarthmore or Drexel or whoever's interest to keep their athletes engaged and in shape, during the off season. So I would second that opinion to kind of target that. I'll ask you a question though. To do all this tracking, right, about workouts and health and metrics and heart rate, what kind of tech integration are you talking about? I didn't hear you mention any of that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we will provide the use of wearables for our app, but also we want to make this an honor system where you can import your fitness programs, and then you can tell us how much you've worked out, how much time you put into this effort, how much time you put into your workout, and also how much weight, whether take for example, someone's trying to lift more weight, whether that's say bench press. We want to be that person to say, hey, this is where you started, and we're gonna help you reach this goal of lifting 205 pounds, and now you're starting at 135. You will tell us how much you lift, and we will tell you how much you need to increase to get to that place that you want to be at.
At the same time, as you can see, there's a start button at the bottom. So basically, you get to every day you have a workout assigned for you, or however frequently that you're working out. And so at the end of that process, you get to input for example what you did. You get to input how many reps it was. You get to input how long you're running for, degree of difficulty. And so as we collect all that kind of data, that we'll be able to create more and more systems around that. And of course, as we expand, we can do more and more with that. Right now in the beginning, it's very much so community focused. But like TJ said, working on wearables, being able to track heart rate, being able to track calories, those will be things that we're going to keep adding and pushing into the app to turn it from more into a social media app to an actual powerful fitness tracker that you can share with your friends as well.
Yeah. So a quick follow-up. You already pointed out that one of the issues, especially if you're a teammate on the off season, trying to get whatever energy you need to work out, it's motivation, right? So the psychology around that is pretty complicated, and if it is a self-report thing, there are going to be some incentives to say, I ran 4, I'm going to report 6, right? So I think having a real, a quantitative measure around that, so using wearables or fitness straps or whatever it is, I think is going to be key as well.
Can I sneak in, because I have to do this to TJ. So TJ is a hell of a TA in behavioral economics, so he's got to get this question right. So TJ, obviously motivation is a big part of your app, right? You're hoping to motivate athletes to do more than they currently do in the off season, right? Any insights about what the actual features will be? Luckily, in the presentation you have a bit more than you had in the report, but I'm curious. Your slides hinted at some neat features. Have you fleshed those out, or are you still kind of thinking about the best way to motivate?
That's a great question. So the way me and Roman are looking at it, we want the motivated to be the motivator. So we want the athletes and the people using this to motivate each other. That's where Roman comes in with the stars. We want this to be an accountability partner to where you're set up, for example, we said that it would be like a weekly thing where you're set up with another individual that can be across the country, whatever, you don't know them. And your job is to make sure that you hold them accountable for the week ahead. And based on how well you did that, you'll get stars for at the end of the week. And this is a way to hold each other accountable and not make it simply just about working out, but also about encouraging others and putting yourself into the shoes of somebody else and helping them achieve their goals.
I think one thing that it's doing really well is the focus on the forges, because that's built-in user engagement over long periods of time, which is the biggest thing to sell apps right now at all, is showing that user engagement for prolonged periods. I am curious to know how you plan to either be inspired by or use things that people like Peloton have already created, because they do community so well. So I know that they're just for cycling and for running, but how do you guys look at them as a competitor? Why are they not going to be able just to do the same product for different sports?
I think at the same time, in the beginning, our demographic is primarily athletes. And so, for example, if you look in the community feed right here, for example, the Swarthmore College basketball mock-up, as you can see, like some of the guys' circles are green, meaning that for that day that they completed that workout. And so in other words, like things like those are like inside of their community feed, inside of their actual teams, there's gonna be like team challenges, like things that they can work together on in order to hold each other accountable, as the teacher was saying. And so in that sense, thinking of other companies like Peloton, like being able to get onto a bike and race against someone random, like it's not the same thing as also being able to like meet people and actually connect with them, actually like hook up with them and message them. Like it's a much deeper relationship that you can build on our platform that is not possible anywhere else.
Okay, brilliant. Good job. Well done, Ford. I'm gonna time check really quickly with Carl. We've got time. We've got time for 2 or 3 questions. The hand up over here, Jennifer, over beside. For our first question, thank you.
Okay, 2 quick notes and then a question. First, I really like your shirts. Second, I totally get why you're going after the consumer as opposed to the institution or the department. Especially at the Division III level, there are parameters on what we can track or monitor during the off season, so that totally makes sense as far as your approach and going right to the athletes. So my question is, are you thinking about including any kind of like trainer? And in my mind, that includes like major liabilities for safety and everything, or are you kind of actively deterring that and really focusing on the accountability partner social aspect of it?
So great, that's another question. So as we kind of described, you get to, for athletes, a major problem that, because initially our app was all about like workouts, because over the gap year, like it was so difficult for me to find a workout to do, like what was the program I need to follow in order to actually improve. And then talking to athletes, however, they feel like that they already have workouts, and so we had to pivot. And so deciding that, okay, athletes can import their own workouts. In other words, like our trainers here at Swarthmore, they gave us workouts over our off season as well that we can bring in here, we can input, and then our software can identify, okay, barbell press, okay, like deadlift, and so you can track your weight through them. At the same time, for non-athletes, people who don't have programs, people who don't know where to look, then we can offer our premium subscription workouts that are going to be researched, and like we're going to partner with other health specialists and other trainers in order to actually develop like productive, beneficial programs that are going to help you improve really quickly.
Okay. We have a question. I'm sorry, Jen, I'm making you run to the far side. We've got someone over at the far side. Thank you. Oh, there you go. Oh, God, look at that. Thank you.
Okay, so I had a quick question about the specific sports that you guys would target. So in terms of our team for tennis, we're spending a lot of time on court, as I assume you guys are in your off season, actually hitting. So how would you guys be able to track what we're doing during that time? Would it be based on the amount of time we spend on court, or would it be like calories or something like that?
Yeah, Spencer, that's a great question. I think part of it is we're not going to focus on any specific sports. That's why we focus on like the fitness side of it, whether that be increasing the time and increasing your speed, increasing like how much you can lift, or simply how much like consistent you are with working out. But I will say that we could possibly have a metric where you can track the amount of steps on your wearable watch, whatever, if you're using that during your practice.
Yeah, I can double down on that. I would say, like as TJ said, like we are catered to athletes and catered to them in a fitness sense, because the purpose of the off season is in order to like to flesh out the basis of your athletic pyramid, which is like your strength, your fitness, your endurance. And so you're gonna have skills like lacrosse, field hockey, like these very skill-based things, and like we aren't so much focused on that, because during the off season, for most athletes, the priority is to become a well-developed athlete all around, and so that's where we're going to shine. And of course, as we develop, then we can add more and more features to help specific sports. But for right now, that's how we're going to prioritize and help everyone who are athletes right now.
All right. And we have one more question there at the back. I saw your hand up first, so thank you.
So I have a question. In the off season, like not all athletes have the same access to like equipment. Like for example, like you mentioned deadlifts and barbells. Like for example, like if you are at home, some people might not have like a home training system or whatever. Like, will your workouts be like customized for like what equipments people have and the access to like resources?
Yeah, so like I love that question, because that was literally me. Because over my gap year, like imagine an entire year of like nothing but me and just like a bunch of hills. Like, I did not have I promise you, I did not have a barbell, I did not have like a weight, I had nothing. There was a gym, it was like a mile away. I wasn't going there, it wasn't happening, right? And so of course, like, we're gonna be able to cater to those like who just need to do calisthenics, who just need to do endurance, fitness, like conditioning. Like, we're gonna make sure that we're not gonna skip over that, because for so many, like, inaccessibility is a major killer of like motivation, and especially for me when I was training. And so we completely get that, and that's something we're gonna absolutely focus on.
And just to add, that is a question that's going to be answered during your onboarding process. We'll get to see if you need a workout, or you don't have a place to work out, or anything like that. Those are questions that will be asked during our onboarding process.
All right, fantastic. Well done. Okay, so teams, you came to the SwatTank and you survived. Woohoo! Well done for you. So proud of you. And Kitty's going to explain what we're doing next. Go ahead, Kitty.
Okay, so the judges are going to exit the room and go. Get out. No, you're going to follow Jen and Carl and go and deliberate elsewhere. And we are. What we're gonna do, y'all, is have you at this point vote on who you think should get the audience choice. And so what I'm gonna do is activate this. What I need you to do is pull out your cell phone for me. Pull out your phone. And I need you to, it's a little tiny at the top, so I'm going to say this a lot, but I need you to text to the number 37607. And the message you send to that number is CIL.
Wait, I text 37607?
You text the number, yep.
The 5-digit number?
The 5-digit number, accurate. And the message you send to that 5-digit number is CIL. And then you should get a little message back that says, welcome to, I think, Katie Clark's something room. And then I need you to choose who you would like to be your top choice. If you as the audience were picking who is going to win today based on the pitch and Q&A, techTutor, you send in A, frequency, you send in B, and Forge, you send in C. The link should work as well. Teams, you're also allowed to vote. Denise, you're allowed to vote if you feel so moved. 58 of you have voted so far. 60 of you have voted. Okay, has everyone voted? Okay, then hurry up, kindly. Yes. It says, what, response recorded? You get it.
I'm on this thing. Oh, God.
I can't quite tell what that thing is from here. Okay. We are going to pause this. Have you voted now? What is causing you trouble? What's that?
We tested first, but it didn't work.
Okay, and you used the link and it did work. So you're good. We're good. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, everybody. What we're going to do now as the judges deliberate is ask for your slight attention and all of our finalists to come and stand at the front of the room.
All right, so you can imagine what goes into the preparation, the planning, the late nights, the thinking about this, the research, the practice. Look at how they're all dressed. They're looking smooth and fantastic. So, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of work goes into this. And this particular part of SwatTank is just for us to have a little think about that and what we've enjoyed and what we appreciate, okay? So we are going to ask a couple of questions. I'm also going to allow you to ask some nice friendly questions as well to learn a little bit more about how they've got on with SwatTank. So how does that sound to you all, yeah? Okay, you can all hear me okay, right, over here? All right, so, you know, we're all in SwatTank at its heart. Whilst it's a business concept competition, it's actually a really deep learning experience for everybody, right? We learn a lot. You guys hopefully have learned a lot. And hopefully we've shared some of that learning with you today. But I want to ask you all specifically, if you can pick whoever wants to go first. What do you think, you know, what's your big learning takeaway from the SwatTank experience? And, you know, how are you feeling right now? Dorothy's got the mic in her hand. She's passing it around. Okay.
Sure. So many people, they're like, oh, I have a great idea. I'm going to go build out this business. I'm going to go invest a bunch of money into it. Like, that's the dumbest thing you can ever do, right? Because what we learned, TJ and I, most specifically, was like, you have to go to your customer. You have to learn your customer. You have to almost like be your customer to actually create a worthwhile product. And honestly, like, we were without a product. Like, we got into the competition, and we didn't have a product for like 3 weeks. So we were like, yo, like, the survey went out, the idea is off, like, yo, what are we doing? Because we had to use our research to create a new product. And I think that's what we learned most importantly, like, the customer comes before the solution, every single time.
Well done. Excellent. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think something that was really interesting to learn was just, I feel like when we think about just ideas, billion-dollar ideas, we always think about the macro side of things first, like, I'm gonna build this app, it's gonna scale, it's gonna hit all these people. That's really great, but you won't hit that until you think about the micro. So I think what was really great about SwatTank was I'm always thinking about ideas in my free time, but I never really think about how am I gonna get my first customers? Like all the granularity of it. For example, like for us, we had to deliberate a lot which languages we were going to start offering first. There's so many languages out there, and we were able to narrow it down to 3. So I think thinking about the micro instead of the macro was something that I learned during SwatTank.
Good. Yeah. One more person. Anybody?
I think what we learned too.
Yeah. Good job, Christina. Well done.
I think we learned that, like, if you're asking questions and you reach out to people, like, people are willing to help. And I think throughout this whole process, we have a bunch of examples, like a lot of mentors that have helped us along the way. So it's been nice. Yeah, and friends.
Yeah. It's a supportive environment, really. Okay, so I have a question. So you came into this room and you explained that really well. You're not really sure what you're doing. Nobody does when you're coming into these kinds of spaces. But now that you have done it, what sort of experience or skill did you display that you're kind of, proud of yourself now? You didn't know you could do it, and now you can. Anybody?
Well, I gotta give this to Roman. He gave me the, if anybody needs to learn how to memorize something, come to this guy. Listen, he gave me the cheat code to how to memorize a pitch. Cool. And I would say that's something I would take away from this. I've worked for startups. and it was amazing working with you, dude. But it's also an art to know how to memorize a pitch, and he really helped me with that a lot.
What's the cheat code? I want to hear it now. Let me know. What is it?
Give me my next idea.
Okay, I can go. Wait, so what's the question again?
What was the skill that you thought, I can do this?
Oh, yeah, okay. I think for me, the skill definitely was storytelling. Like public speaking isn't like something I've done like for a while. So, having this opportunity to present again and just, reel like the audience in with a narrative that really conveys the value of the product. That was something that I had to think a lot about to craft the story. So that was a big learning experience for me.
Awesome. So I'm going to flip that question, and I'm going to say, what was the thing that you realized, you know what, I think I really need to learn how to do this a little bit more? Does anybody, have a thought about that?
I definitely need to work on my public speaking. Okay. But yeah, I think it was a great learning experience, and it showed like my strong suits and my weaker points. And so the next time, hopefully, we'll come back stronger than ever.
Definitely.
You did great.
You did great.
Thank you.
Okay, so do you want to explain how you felt about the business model canvas? Anybody have some few words on that?
So I've done business before. I haven't done it in a while. Since I got here, I'm an engineering major. It took my soul. I had time doing business. But anyway, it's reminded me of how painful it is. I'll be honest. I have done those before, and I kind of forgotten. But it's so many little things, and there's no one clear answer because you find one thing and circle back, and you fix everything. And to a certain point, you feel like you just keep going in the circle, and you just say, I'm done, go to sleep. That's how I felt. But yeah, it was interesting. It was very helpful, and it does help to plan it out. But unless you really like it, I wouldn't recommend going through that whole process.
Very good. Anybody else, any thoughts on the business model canvas?
Yeah, on like the other end, I had no experience in business or that world at all, so it was very new to me, but it made a lot of sense, and it definitely did help us think through the whole idea. So I appreciate being able to learn it.
Cool.
Yeah, you helping us through the business model canvas really helped me and Roman at least, and I would say me and Roman went through a lot of circles as well with our idea, but the business model canvas also gave us some stability to hone in on like, okay, this is the first part we need to focus on. This is second, this is third, and it let us we found like this pathway to go through, and it really helped us a lot.
Excellent. Yeah, Tommy, sorry about the pain. Sorry about that.
It's a part
I
of it.
really
It's
am
fine.
sorry.
It's a part of it now.
Okay. Okay, so I want to turn it over to the audience and see if you have some questions for our teams about what they learned, their experience, and maybe what they're going to do next. Anybody like to ask a question? Go ahead. So we have microphones.
That's fine. If you were to win, what would be the first thing to do with the funds that what you won?
So what's the first thing you're going to do with the funds if you win?
With the money.
With the money. What are you going to do with the money? Okay, Jacob.
Okay, so we actually had a plan coming into this. So if we were to win third place, we would go to Sharples for dinner. And then if we won second place, we would go to the Bill. And then if we were to win first, we would go to, you guys know Fogo, like the all-you-can-eat Brazilian restaurant? That's like our plan. But yeah, we're gonna ball out.
What about the others? What are you planning to do with the money? Leonard and Dorothy, what would you do?
We were going to treat out our friends.
Hold up.
We were going to treat out our friends.
Oh, wow. Hey, nice. All right, cool.
I I think personally, I wanted to buy a camera. That was probably my little interest. Camera. So I wanted to buy a camera because cameras are mad expensive and the phone just does not do it. Because you walk around with your phone like da da da. TJ and I filmed a video in the beginning. I'm sure like Chris thought we were crazy, like recording TJ in the gym with a phone. So I'd love a much more professional camera. That's what I wanted, but yeah.
I was told if I won, I had to take somebody to dinner. So.
These are generous teams up here, guys. Well done. Okay, another question.
Good answer.
Come on, give us another question for the teams. I have one more in my mind, but I want to see if there you go. Well done.
Are any of you thinking of another competition to enter? Or do you have potentially multiple business competitions in your future?
That is a great question.
I'm gonna be honest. Yes, I mean future, but that's for future. Right now I'm tired and got midterm, so no. Okay. And at least until next semester. There we go.
Yeah, I'll probably say this for everybody here. Like, we're probably all sleep deprived from like the amount of like memorizing and turning in this 10-page paper by Monday night, and yeah, we're probably all sleep deprived. But me and Roman kind of want to pursue this after, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, TJ, that was the kind of question that I was going to ask, because we have such an experience now with SwatTank. We've been doing it 10 years. Kyle was actually one of the first competitors in SwatTank. And you know, Katie's got the profile if you want to see all of the SwatTank teams that actually went on to set up businesses. And it really is phenomenal, and they're all doing incredibly well. Do any of you feel, any of your teams feel that you might actually take this idea forward, and how do you envisage that?
We're not sure if we'll take the business forward, but we'll definitely take the people forward.
Oh, nice.
I like that.
That's a great answer. Okay.
Yeah, so I would say I've always wanted to kind of get into entrepreneurship stuff, and it's crazy how quickly like you can just feel like you're drowning in it before you know it. And so just like honestly, if you have any interest in like doing something, like whether it's business or anything, like go talk to someone. Honestly, like even Professor Wehar right there, like anyone on this campus, every single professor here is like super interested in everything that they do. So go out of yourself and go find opportunities because they're there. And so yes, personally, I would love to do this more because like I want to do it. I want to be like this is what I care about right now. And so I want to pursue graphic design, software development, all those kind of things. And of course, TJ and I are big athlete people, so yeah, we would try and do this further, if at least just for the experience and just for learning more and just building the incredible connection that we've been able to make over these last 2 months.
Okay, awesome. This is brilliant. Okay, so give it all one last round of applause, please, guys. So we're going to take a few minutes for the judges to come back in again. I'm going to ask Dorothy and Leonard to put the music back on so we can hear the vibes. And we're going to get the judges to come back in. So hang on, because we're going to make an announcement very soon about who's won SwatTank.
And then I have the honor of announcing the audience choice, and then I'm going to turn it over. So can I get a drum roll? So with a whopping 55% of the vote, the audience choice is Forge. And judges, take it. Oh, can you all come up, please?
All right, and so what we're going to do as judges, we're going to individually, each of us is going to give feedback to one specific group, just real quick, and then Kyle, our spokesman, is gonna count us down to the top three. So I'll start. Some feedback for techTutor. So first off, very professional presentation. You guys are ready to be entrepreneurs. I thought you handled questions really, professionally, really well. I think if you're able to kind of massage the design a little bit of the company, I can see this growing. I can see it developing. So we were super impressed. Very polished overall, and the idea is there. So we wish you all the best of luck with your ideas. Let me hop over to frequency.
Sure. So I'll give some feedback to the frequency group. First off, great energy in your presentation. I think there is definitely a need around music and social sharing of music and song suggestions. I think one of the things that you could think more about is that people do engage with music in different ways, right? There are those who, specifically curate playlists and are really intense about that, and then there are others who just sort of flip on a streaming station and just let it go. And I think there are potential ways of addressing that with your idea. In terms of sort of the identity of your product, right? It has these elements, right? It's a social network, it's a streaming service, it's an independent record label, and trying to balance those in the right way and thinking deeply about that. Maybe talking to people working in each of those areas. I think might be a good next step too.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed your presentation.
Forge. So I actually think that you guys have a marketable idea. The focus on the niche is really smart. I think people want to design businesses for everyone, but then you realize that the more you can speak to a customer, the better you can kind of break through the noise. Even in your materials, one of the things that you guys did really, really well was you kept folding in how much work you did to actually talk to your customer groups. In my own business, that's been the one thing that saved us, is learning how to build a product for them, not build a product just in the middle of nowhere. I really think that if you guys do a little bit of thought around what the business model looks like, this actually could be something. And I think even though it's a really crowded market, there's a way for you to situate yourselves as like the college athlete workout app. And I think that makes sense. But, everyone did great, but unfortunately there has to be a ranking here. But that doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't be continuing to push forward. What I've realized in my own business is that it's looked like 3 different ways before it's looked like what it is now. So don't be afraid to go out to the drawing board, figure out how to adjust things. It does not mean it's the end for any of you guys. In third place, we do have frequency. Actually, second place, that's right.
Yeah, but maybe we should make it was really close.
Honestly, it was actually really close.
Very, very close.
Second place, we have techTutor. Means that Forge came in first place. Don't spend that money on vacation, okay?
All right, well, we want to say thank you so much to our judges, to all the people that... We also have, I'm so sorry guys, right, yes. We have tons of people on this campus who helped and supported this process. These students all met with alumni mentor, with speaking associates, these judges here that have been so supportive, faculty and staff around campus. So a big thank you to everyone who was a part of this. And finally, just another huge round of applause for our SwatTank finalists.